do all the engine changes that the team was asking me. At the same time, I was still losing a second and a half.
Let's talk about one of the most challenging weekends for Ferrari this Formula One season. If you thought the team was back on track after Monaco, the Canadian Grand Prix proved that not everything is rosy in the world of racing. At the center of this drama, we have Charles Leclerc and his new race engineer, Bryan Bozzi. The relationship between these two is far from ideal, and this was evident in Montreal. But before diving into all the details of this mess, let's recap what happened in Canada and how it affects Ferrari's ambitions for the rest of the season. The Canadian Grand Prix was a real nightmare for Ferrari. After the success in Monaco, where they managed to close the gap to Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, Montreal was a cold shower. Everything that could go wrong did. Both Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz failed to reach the top 10 in qualifying, a huge disappointment for the team and fans. On Sunday, things only got worse. Leclerc faced serious power unit issues from the start of the race, drastically limiting his progress. Additionally, the team made some strategic errors, such as the decision to put on hard tires in increasing rain. This led to significant time loss and eventually to Leclerc's car retirement. The situation was further aggravated by the tense communication between Leclerc and his race engineer, Bryan Bozzi. There was a moment when Leclerc questioned the team's decision, clearly frustrated with the unsatisfactory response he received. This episode highlighted the lack of harmony between the driver and engineer, something that urgently needs to be resolved. Since Bozzi took over as Leclerc's race engineer before the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, it has been clear that their relationship is still developing. During the race in Canada, there were several moments when the lack of harmony between Leclerc and Bozzi was evident. A critical example was when Leclerc, struggling with power issues, questioned the information that he was losing half a second per lap. Bozzi then corrected, saying the loss was actually closer to a second, which only increased Leclerc's frustration. Another tense moment was the decision to put on hard tires while the rain was increasing. Leclerc clearly expressed his concern, but Bozzi's response, saying the rain would last only 1 or 2 laps, was not enough. The wrong decision resulted in significant time loss, with Leclerc eventually losing about 10 seconds per lap before having to pit again to change the tires. This ineffective communication not only compromised Leclerc's race, but also highlighted the importance of a good relationship between driver and engineer. The tension between Leclerc and Bozzi in the Canadian Grand Prix is not just an isolated problem, it has direct implications for Ferrari's ambitions this season. The team started the year with high hopes of competing with Red Bull for the title, especially after a promising performance in Monaco. However, problems like those that arose in Montreal can undermine these efforts. Effective communication between driver and engineer is crucial for success in any Formula One team. When this communication fails, as we saw between Leclerc and Bozzi, the consequences can be disastrous. The lack of trust and frustration can lead to poor strategic decisions, as we saw with the tire choice in Canada, and these decisions can cost valuable points in the championship. To compete for the title, Ferrari needs consistency and precision. Every race is an opportunity to gain points and close the gap to Red Bull. However, if internal problems persist, this can seriously compromise their chances. Leclerc is currently the closest rival to Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship, and any problems he faces can give Red Bull an even greater advantage. Additionally, the team needs to be in sync to make the most of every situation on the track. This means not only solving the communication problems between Leclerc and Bozzi, but also ensuring that the entire team is aligned with the race strategies and championship goals. When we look at the communication between driver and engineer in other teams, it is clear that this relationship is fundamental to success in Formula One. Take, for example, the Red Bull duo, Max Verstappen and Gianpiero Lambiase. The communication between them is fluid and efficient, allowing the team to make quick and correct decisions during races. This level of trust and mutual understanding is one of the factors that contribute to Verstappen's dominance this season. Another duo that exemplifies this synergy is Lewis Hamilton and Peter Bonington at Mercedes. Their relationship has developed over several years, creating a solid foundation of trust and mutual respect. This not only helps in strategic decision-making, but also in managing crises during races. Hamilton often praises Bonington for his clear and precise instructions, which often make the difference in critical situations. Comparing these partnerships with the current situation of Leclerc and Bozzi at Ferrari, we see that there is much room for improvement. The lack of harmony between Leclerc and Bozzi in Canada resulted in poor decisions that compromised Leclerc's race. In contrast, successful partnerships in other teams show that good communication can be the difference between winning and losing. Looking ahead, Lewis Hamilton's arrival at Ferrari in 2025 promises to bring a significant change in the team's dynamics. Hamilton, with his vast experience and multiple world titles, is known for his ability to extract the maximum from any car he drives. His entry into Ferrari will not only add an elite driver to the team, but also positively influence the internal structure and culture. Firstly, Hamilton's presence can serve as a catalyst for internal improvements. He has a reputation for working closely with his engineers and mechanics, providing detailed and constructive feedback. This can encourage a more open and effective communication culture within Ferrari, something that currently seems to be a problematic area, as we saw in the relationship between Leclerc and Bozzi. Additionally, Hamilton's experience in dealing with pressure and high expectations will be invaluable. He has a proven track record of performing well under pressure, something that Ferrari will need if they want to compete consistently with Red Bull and other top teams. Hamilton can also act as a mentor to Leclerc, helping him further develop his skills and race strategies. Finally, the expectation is that the combination of Hamilton and Leclerc can bring a new era of success for Ferrari. With Hamilton's experience and skill, combined with Leclerc's talent and determination, Ferrari has the potential to become a dominant force in Formula One once again. The 2024 season has been a roller coaster for Ferrari, and the Canadian Grand Prix highlighted some of the critical areas the team needs to address. The relationship between Charles Leclerc and his race engineer, Bryan Bozzi, is still far from ideal, and this lack of harmony has affected the team's performance. On the other hand, there is hope on the horizon with Lewis Hamilton's arrival in 2025. His experience and skill can be the boost Ferrari needs to overcome these challenges and return to the top. However, the team cannot afford to wait until then. They need to start implementing changes now, working on internal communication, race strategy, and technical development. Will they be able to overcome these obstacles and return to the title race? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the season is far from predictable, and we still have many thrills ahead. What do you think? Can Ferrari turn things around? Leave your opinions in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. See you next time.